We're live. We're live. We're live. I think we're live. I have a new microphone, so I need you guys to verify that this is working. So, drop a comment in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me okay, that my sound quality is good. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So come on in. 66 people, 62 people with us right now. Water's warm. I just got back from a trip nearby. A short little trip, and it's good to be back. We left Monday. Was it Monday early afternoon? Yeah, Monday early afternoon. We're back on here. So, all right. Looks like it's working. Thank you, Tesla Weekend. What's up, John? Espen, hello, hello. Thank you for checking. Thank you, thank you. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing today? There was a split. Did you hear about that? We had a split on Monday, I believe it was announced. What's interesting about the split, it was something that I made a video about it a couple of months ago, where having worked at Tesla, I sort of have had some insight into the ESPP program. And so the ESPP, for those of you that don't know, it's basically the stock employee purchase program, employee stock purchase program, ESPP, which essentially is a thing where Tesla employees are able to purchase Tesla stock at a 15% discount every 6 months or so. And within that program, you can't split, or you can't have fractional shares. And so say you save up, I don't know, like say $600 or $1,000 in that account for the last 6 months, and then the ESPP period kicks in. Then if the stock price, say after 50%, is above that amount that you saved up in your escrow in that 6-month bucket, you don't get those shares. So it's like that money gets returned to you. So having a high stock price is not very good for people that want to take advantage of that ESPP. And so I really do think one of the reasons why they did it is to try and accommodate a lot of the new employees that are joining the company here in the short term and the medium term, so that they are able to take advantage of that ESPP. But it also could mean that, Tesla has a lot of confidence that the stock price is going to continue going up, right? Which is one of the reasons why some companies split the stock. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Drop it in the chat and let me know what your thoughts are around the Tesla stock split, and we'll sort of take the conversation from there. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, whoa, Mike sounds good. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. I wonder if it'll be a 10 to 1. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty fun. Or not pretty fun. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what the split turns out to be. I think 10 to 1 makes a lot of sense. I was on Emmett and Matt's live stream, I want to say yesterday, I think it was. And they talked about like doing a 10 to 1 or 20 to 1 or a 50 to 1. And Emmett was sort of talking about how doing a bigger split, so a 50 to 1, something like that, enables us to just not have to worry about splitting in the future and just taking advantage of the stock price as is, right? So you don't have to, every year or so, if the stock price is going to keep going up, you have to do a split. The one thing there, what's interesting about that is I'm curious to see how much communication that means from Tesla's perspective. If they do a 50 to 1, is that a signal? Is that too strong of a signal that's going to make the stock price get way ahead of itself? And it's like, oh, Elon thinks it's going to 10x in the next, 2 years or something. I'm curious, but it does make sense to make the stock price as small as possible. If you want people to take advantage of the ESPP, that employee stock purchase program, and for the retail investor to get in, then the lower the stock price, the better, right? But you also have to wonder what sort of signals you're sending if you do that. So, hey, looking forward to an interview. Yes, Kaba. I'm wondering if is that Charles? I'm not quite sure what that username is. Maybe help me out here a little bit. But I do have a few interviews coming up, so I'm looking forward to it. ESPP stock plus is a win-win. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Ginger Dude, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Gino, hello. My freaking mouse ran out of battery, and it's like plugged in instead of it being wireless. So if my angle is a little off, that's why. Stock split will help employees afford the stock price via ESPP plan. Yeah, that's 100% sure. And we kind of talked about like what we think the splits might be. Probably, honestly, I think 10 to 1 is the most likely likely split just because it's just an easy sort of like, when the stock price is $100, it's a $1 trillion market cap, but who knows? They're kind of arbitrary. I mean, how you split it is sort of arbitrary. It's just like, how easy do you want to make it for people to buy an individual stock? So I'm saying 15%, 15%, not 50%, 15% on the ESPP. So as folks join, let me know where you're from. Drop your location and where you're at right now. I'm in Austin, Texas. Hello. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you guys jumping on. I vote for 20 to 1. Yeah, I do think the lower the value, the better. When do you think the AGM will be? AGM is that the sorry, I'm blanking on the acronym. If you guys can help me out what AGM is, that would be super helpful. But yeah. All right. It is easier than ever to start a brokerage account to buy Tesla shares compared to 10 years ago. Split is a win for retail. 100% agree, Tim. For sure. For sure. We got folks from Canada. Hello. Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington, New Mexico, Slovakia. Wow, that's awesome. Norway, Switzerland. Thank you, Marcel from Germany. It feels good to see you again. It's good to see you again too, man. Appreciate you saying that. Appreciate that. London, Queens, New York. My wife lived in Queens for a little while there. We had a lot of Caribbean food. It's so good. I like Jamaica, Queens. So banging. We got Vancouver. Hit that bid. Yashu, Canada's own treasure. What's up, brother? How you doing, my friend? Annual general meeting. Yeah, so that's like it's I think it's usually in July. It's in the summer sometime, right? If I remember correctly. So we got folks from Sacramento. We got a lot of people in the house, man. I appreciate you guys. It's amazing how small the world gets with the internet, doesn't it? Isn't that awesome? We got Mississauga right outside of Toronto, I believe. Like southwest Toronto, if I remember correctly. We got Toledo. This is awesome, man. This is awesome. Did you get invited to the Giga Austin opening? No, I haven't. Not yet. So here's the deal. With the Giga Austin opening, I'm a little... I'm wondering how this is going to go because I've been an investor since 2012. And there was an event that I was invited for earlier as an employee. And when we bought our Model Y, we bought it here in Austin, Texas, under my @tesla.com email. Okay? But we do have 2 Model S's, which we sold, and the Cybertruck reservation at my Gmail account. Okay? And I'm curious if the invitation goes to the @Tesla account, I'm obviously not going to be able to access it because I don't work at Tesla anymore. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Because I had blanked, like literally, it wasn't until a couple of days ago. I'm like, man, I should have probably merged the accounts under an email address that I can access. So if I don't get invited, because if I'm not there because the email went to the @Tesla account instead of my @Gmail account, it's gonna be hilarious. I don't know how else to describe that. So Tel Aviv, Israel, welcome. Yeah, man, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it'll be super fun to go. What's really cool about that week is that we don't only have the Giga Texas opening, we also have the Teslacon. So Teslacon is this sort of conference that's being held on that Friday, the day after. A bunch of different people are going. Let me drop a link in the chat in case you guys aren't aware of this. And I'm one of the speakers at the event. And there's many others. There's Gally, there's Sandy Monroe, there is Ross Gerber, there is a bunch of other people coming there. The limiting factor, Jordan Gisage, is going to be there. Here, let me show you the home screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Teslacon Texas. That's not it. Teslacon Texas, Tesla Motors Club. So we got Sandy Monroe. Check this out. Look at this star-studded cast, man. Look at these beasts. Sandy Monroe, Dave Lee, Gally, Ross. We got Kim. We got K10. We got Starman. We got some dude with a weird name. I don't know who that is. Jordan, Warren, Omar, Emmett. Emmett's going to be there. Alien Space, who does SpaceX content. Matt Holm. These folks run the Tesla Motors Club in Austin here. I met Matt. He's one of the coolest guys ever, and a few other speakers as well. So it's gonna be exciting, man. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, do make sure to check out the link. I think it's gonna be a really, really good time, especially for those that aren't able to join Giga, Texas. So it's a good time. So yeah. Let's see. What else we got? 10-to-1 stock splits are my fave. Easier for everyone, just at a 0. 100%. I do think, just from a usability standpoint, from like an ease of use, I think that's going to be the best way to split, but we'll see how it goes. When you first invested in Tesla, how much conviction did you have? What was the size of your investment relative to your net worth as a percentage? That's a really good question, Blake. So when I first invested, and if the audio at any point gets better or worse, just let me know, because it's the first time I'm using this mic. So any feedback you guys can give me on the mic, it'll be perfect. So I invested back in December 5th, 2012 was literally the first time I bought Tesla. And at that time I was 10 years ago. So I'm 35 now. I was 25 years old, essentially 24, 25, something around there. And when I bought, I had just started investing. Like literally it was like I just started researching companies. And the thing that really brought me to Tesla was the car first, the Model S. I thought it was really cool and looked really great, and it had really great specs. But then I saw some videos on Elon, some like YouTube videos on Elon. And I was like, that seems like a really cool guy, like a smart guy. I should probably invest in the company that he runs, right? And then I was in the stock when the first run-up happened in 2013, and I think May 2013 when they announced their Q2 earnings, which I think was the first time they ever announced profitability, if I remember correctly. Some of the time might be a little off by a quarter or so, but I believe that's when it was. And that's when the stock price went from like $30 to like $120 in like a week or whatever, something crazy. And then it like spiked to 180, and then it went down, and they like ran to like 300 plus over the next year or so. And the higher it went, the more I researched the company, because I'm like, man, like this is crazy. Like I can't believe that I have money in this account that is growing this fast. And as a percentage of net worth at that time, I was at negative net worth, bro. So I went to college. I had a ton of student loans. I didn't own anything. And so in my head, I was like, okay, the reason why I'm going to get into stock market is because working, I had a really good job, but it wasn't really generating wealth. It was just I was getting paid every week, and then I didn't really have any assets that could appreciate over time. And so I'm like, okay, I need to invest money in the stock market to try and figure out how to increase my wealth. And when that run happened, I'm like, holy crap, okay, so this looks like it's a legitimate thing. So the more time I spent in Tesla, the more time I spent researching it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it was, dude, I was so much in debt. I mean, I was probably 100,000 in debt, probably more at that time. So yeah, and then from 10 years ago to be in that position to be now where I'm at now, which, having invested in Tesla, worked at Tesla, financial independence, my wife and I can do sort of whatever we want in a sense, and I get to bring content for you. So it's like insane. So completely bananas that I'm in this situation after 10 years. And honestly, a lot of it is luck, because, like the circumstances that made me find Tesla in the first place were probably, like, okay, it's a cool car, cool guy running the company, and I'm, playing around with dollars that I have in my hand. My life savings, I had like 15,000 in cash, or like 20,000 or something. It wasn't that, it's a lot of money for a lot of people. But if I'm thinking about, okay, if I really want to build wealth, like I need to figure out how to make that a bigger bucket. I think like maybe 10 or 15% of that went into Tesla at first. And then the more I researched it, the more I shifted over. So, but that's a great question, Blake. Thank you for that, man. Yashu, you got to get an invite. I start a petition. If not, I'll sign it. All right. We'll make sure to send it directly to Elon if that's the case. So, where to buy tickets for Teslacon? You can go right on to teslacontexas.com to buy tickets. So, yeah. How many shares do you have? I'm not gonna divulge that information. I get that asked. A lot of people ask me that. I mean, honestly, to be complete, I'll give an honest answer why I don't like to answer this. I just think I'm a big believer that finances should be like kept private, honestly. And I think that, unless you're like specifically a channel that's talking specifically about finances and you think that it's going to somehow help you drive the thing you're trying to drive, right? But, I don't take any offense to it, but I do get asked a lot, and I do keep saying no. But that's why I just don't see why. I don't see any value. I don't know what value that's going to bring to the good discussion. But, plus, we have, people that don't necessarily need to know how much a certain person is worth or so far. So whatever. Sounds great. Thank you. John Doe, you talk so fast, bro. Relax. That's how I talk, man. If you don't like it, put me on 0.75. What percentage Tesla? Yeah, so this one I actually talked about in my, I have a video on my channel where I sort of break down my investments. Tesla is anywhere between 35 to 40% of our portfolio. So, yeah. Giga Texas is a 10 billion plus investment over time, generating at least 20,000 direct and 100,000 indirect jobs. Looks like your real estate will increase with your Tesla share as far as that. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the ideas why we wanted to get a, that's why we put the, that's why we bought it. I don't know, I can't speak right now. That's why we bought investments in real estate in Austin when we first moved from Pennsylvania to Texas. Was to really, we thought that that sort of Tesla coming to Austin and really giving a lot of legitimacy to the tech movement that's happening here felt like a good opportunity for us to invest, and so we capitalized on it. So, yeah. The real question is, how much Doge do you own? Haha, I think like $3,000 or something. Is not very much, but I have it for fun. So, and the pencil says enough, no need for numbers. Appreciate that, Cable. Thank you. Oh, I got to go back and see. We need Stephen Mark Ryan. Yeah, at the event. I think I talked to, I don't know. Yeah, I think you guys are going to have to ask him directly. He might be able to make it far as that equals go. You guys are funny, man. You guys are fun. I'm opposite. I think personal finances and investing strategies should be out in the open so that we can all learn from each other. Yeah, I mean, I can see that point too, Brian. I definitely respect that. But that's I tend to be on the other side, especially if you're not specifically like teaching about finances, because I'm not a financial expert, right? I never ever want to market myself as such. So, Kirk, thank you for all you do. When Tesla opens up superchargers in the U.S., who do you believe is responsible for solving the different charger connectors? Tesla, the customer, other car manufacturers? Yeah, that's a good question. I think, man, my worry is that, we end up with like a suboptimal, connector, because you think about like USB type A, USB type B, like all the different like universal connectors that we've used. Obviously it's for like, computers or whatever, but I think there is a lot of potential downfalls that can come from that. And I'm not 100% sure how the regulatory bodies like work the connectors and stuff, but I think there is an opportunity they might adopt Teslas. If Tesla makes a good argument and says, hey, listen, like our network is like 50% or 60% plus of all the network chargers out there. And I'm curious to see if anybody would know this, right? Like, does anyone have any data? What percentage of the total connectors out there are Teslas? I think in Europe, Tesla is by far the minority, but I think in the States, they're by far the majority. So it's like maybe different areas might have standardized connectors. So that's a great question, and I'm curious to see how that works out. I think the manufacturers ideally will come together and land on something that everybody can use, but I doubt that's going to happen as smoothly as we think, unless Tesla somehow figures out how to partner with every other manufacturer that incentivizes them to adopt their connector. But I don't know. But ideally, you want the same connector in the whole world. You don't want to have to switch up, because right now, I know for a fact the U.S. and Europe have two different connectors, and I think China's might be different as well, or it might be the same as Europe. I can't remember. So we'll see. Agree. Real estate is a great inflation hedge. So is Tesla. Yeah, I agree, Yashu. I'm right there with you, my friend. Oh no, it's all good, Brock. You don't have to apologize, man. I respect that. I was just curious. Sorry for the personal question. I know some people are open about it, like SMR, and others are more private, like Dave Lee. But I still respect both. Yeah, no, don't apologize, bro. I appreciate you asking the question. I just get it asked a lot, and I figured I'd use this time to like kind of give a little bit more insight into why I don't like to answer that question or give details behind it. So. Sorry if I missed this. What ratio do you believe Tesla will split? 1-to-1, 5-to-1, 10-to-1? 1-to-1 would be hilarious. So we've split 2-0. Yeah, I do think 10-to-1 is probably going to make the... I mean, I don't even know why 10-to-1 makes the most sense. To be completely honest, it's arbitrary. What I said before was like, ideally what you want to do is do the split so that you can just take advantage of lower pricing for the ESPP, for the Employee Stock Purchase Program, and for retail investors. But then you can make the argument that says if you do a big enough split, so let's say 50-1 or higher, then you would prevent yourself from splitting more in the future. But that goes back to, okay, what kind of signal does that send from the company? If they say, hey, we're going to split our price down to 20, they might say, oh, they expect Tesla to be their stock price to skyrocket. It might inflate the price of the stock more than it should. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's completely arbitrary, but up to a point. As long as the employees are able to buy their stock at the discount is I think what's most important here. Any chance Tesla does a split for inclusion into the Dow? That's a great question. I've thought about that. Is it $100 for the Dow? Let me know if anybody knows what that limit is. I think it's a $100 cap or something. Or I might be thinking about this incorrectly, but that'll be very, very helpful. Where is the next factory is going to be? Any guess? Yeah, I think the next factory, I don't know, man. There's been a lot of rumors around India. I just think, well, they just announced one in China, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's like a separate structure besides Giga Shanghai. So that's going to be interesting to see if that one materializes to be something bigger. I believe somebody said like it's going to be like $1 million capacity. I forget where I heard that, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Yashu says the more splits, the better. I think Apple has done it right, 4-5-1 every few years. Yeah. I'm curious, Yashu, why do you think that is? Why do you think the more splits, the better? Curious to hear your thought process there, my friend. By the way, thank you all for joining. 364 people viewing. I believe that's an all-time high. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by. We got a new mic, in case you haven't seen this and you're just coming in for the first time. Yeah. When do you think we'll see Cybertruck start deliveries? Probably early next year. I was initially thinking like, man, is Tesla like sandbagging the Cybertruck launch, and are they going to do this like earlier? Because they've had a sort of, as of late, they've been pretty good sandbaggers. If you really think about it, especially like Q4 was like the biggest sort of tip off for me, because Elon was very open about saying, hey, we're not going to really worry about going hard for Q4, and then they post a blowout freaking quarter. Like, okay, so what else are you hiding, right? So they've really learned. They've really learned how to make that happen. Diggs, Farziness equals thumbs up. You want to give a thumbs up. Yes, that would be awesome. If you guys could like the live stream, this will help show it to more people. I would very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. And DJ Medusa with the crazy super chat, $50. Dude, are you crazy? Oh my God. We love you, Farzad. Throws confetti into air. Well, thank you so much, man. Oh my God. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody in this chat. One of the things that I realized when I was doing my, when I was on Twitter earlier is like, it seems like I've been very lucky in sort of trying to surround myself with as many positive people as possible. And I feel that. And so like having been part of this YouTube journey and all that sort of social stuff now online, one of my concerns initially was like, okay, so like, is it just going to be a complete, pardon my French, clusterfuck, right? Of like just crazy hate and whatever. And, honestly, it's been crazy positive, and I'm sure there's like corners of it. And if this channel keeps growing, I'm sure that's going to be one of the things that comes up. But as long as I have y'all, who cares, right? Who cares? All my comments get skipped on here. There you go. All right, let's try to find one of yours, Slicks. Okay, let's talk robots. When do you think we hear any news in the Tesla bot development? So one of the insane things that Elon just dropped on his interview, I believe it was with, oh my God, Axel something. He mentioned how they're looking to show a prototype late this year and start medium size production, or like decently sized production next year. Okay. Which to me, that was surprising to hear, because I did have an aggressive timeline for the bot, because I'm just an overall optimistic person when it comes to this stuff. But again, this could be Elon time, right? Elon time says tomorrow we're going to have a bot, or next year we're going to have a bot ready for production, but then it could be 2025, right? So that's what I heard. So I'm curious to see how that actual works out. Yeah, there we go. Matthias, oh my God, I'm so sorry for folks that know how to pronounce that. Dofner from Axel Springer, yeah. So thank you. It means a lot to get your feedback on it. I think there's that's more exciting than the cars. You're welcome, Slicks. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to skip any comments. I'm just reading through this thing. It's coming in hot. So I appreciate you posting your comment. I agree. I think one of the things that Dave Lee, if you guys watch Dave Lee, one of the things that he does, one of the videos that he did was that he kind of explained within the context of like curves, of S curves, what the AI and the bot markets could be. And that could be by far the largest S curve, meaning that it would have the largest material impact to market cap to the company. And I believe Elon replied to that tweet and image saying, I agree, or yes, that's the case. So it is very exciting. It just seems far-fetched because of how advanced it sounds and looks, but it's very, very possible that's going to kill everything, man. It's really exciting. Do you have investments in SpaceX? Are you planning to buy a lot of Starlink shares if it does IPO in the coming few years? Great question, James. I do not have any SpaceX as of now, but Starlink is one of those companies I'm really looking out for. That once it does go public, I'm definitely going to buy a bunch. I'll probably move from one stock to that one in my IRA if I were to guess. But yeah, Starlink will definitely be a pretty significant part of our portfolio. So I'm excited for that. I really hope it does come in. I really just hope it happens soon. Love your channel and everything you do. Nothing but positivity. Thank you, Emily. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My first time here. You have 30 minutes to make me rich. I got nothing to tell you, my friend. Good luck with that one. This is the wrong channel to come to. This is the wrong one. What do you think the highest average cost per share of Tesla will still be profitable for investors like us? What do you think the highest average cost per share of Tesla will still be profitable for investors? Yeah, I mean, I really think, if I understand your question correctly, is like, what is sort of like the right price point to get into Tesla to make a profit, I guess. The longer you stay in Tesla, I think the better it is, right? My hair kind of looks crazy. I need a freaking haircut, y'all. Oh my goodness, look at this thing. It's crazy. Yeah, I think the longer you stay in the stock, the better. I'm not really big into like trying to figure out sort of how to time the share price. You know, if your horizon for Tesla stock, say, is 5 years, say it's 2 years, then it's hard to tell if this is a good price point to get in. If it's 5 years, it becomes much more attractive. If it's 10 years, then it's incredibly attractive, right? So in my opinion, I just think it's dependent on how long you're willing to sort of stay in the stock for. So the longer you want to stay in the stock for, the higher that price is going to be, right? So let me know if that makes sense. Thoughts on Elon companies rolling up into a public holding company? Yeah, that's the X.com sort of thought process here, right? I think the interesting thing about X is really it should exist only if it allows Elon to achieve his goals faster and more efficiently. So if X.com, as an example, allows Elon to share talent between the companies easier, it allows Elon to shift cash from one division to another one easier, it allows expertise to be shared easier, and it allows him to move faster towards the colonization of Mars and shifting the world to sustainable energy. If it somehow accelerates that mission, forget the impact to stock price, because that's not how Elon thinks. Forget the impact to stock price. Does it actually help us move faster to our end goal? And if the answer is yes, then X makes sense. That bringing all those companies makes sense. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case or not, but I think there is a chance that that's the case. So, but that's a good question. We'll see. I mean, selfishly, I want him to do it anyway, because I think it'd be cool to have like Musk Enterprises, you know, X.com, Musk Enterprise, like freaking Iron Man, you know. So, who knows? Do you still know any Tesla employees, and do you think they can give us any insider info on the lowdown, of course? Actually, I have a great comment about this one tomorrow. I'll be interviewing a person named Charles, who was in the factory between the years of 2018 and 2020, and he was directly involved with the ramp of the Model 3. And he stopped working at Tesla in 2020, and he was very close to, and was a variable, let's say. I don't want to divulge too much because the conversation is going to be pretty fun. I spoke to him a little bit last week, and we were already getting on a roll, and I'm like, okay, we need to save a lot of this for the chat. So we'll be sitting down tomorrow. We'll be talking. The recording will probably be out on Friday. And of course, we're going to have to be very careful. We don't want to divulge any information that's going to breach any of our NDAs, but there's a lot there that we can talk about, specifically around the Model 3 ramp. The Model 3 ramp, for people that have worked at Tesla, has scarred all of us. If we were at the company during that time, we've been scarred in some way or another. I was on the service side, I was on the distribution side, but we still got scarred because you think about a company going from having, say, 100,000 cars on the road to 1 million cars on the road, and you think about what that does to the distribution network for service. Okay. But we're going to talk more about that on Saturday, or tomorrow for release on Friday. So if you're interested in watching that, look out for the channel, subscribe, like this stuff, share it, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm very much excited for that conversation. It's going to be freaking sick. I'm really, really excited. So what about the split? Yeah, it happened. You missed a lot of the conversation, bro. Come on. Yeah. What are your thoughts on nickel pricing and the impact on future battery products? Yeah, I think if there's a company that's going to be able to really take advantage of the lowest nickel pricing possible, is going to be Tesla, because Tesla is willing to sort of innovate on their approach to try and minimize the cost as much as humanly possible. And if that means them getting into the mining process itself, then so be it, right? One of my theories for Master Plan Part 3, I don't know if I'm going to be right or not, but one of my theories for Master Plan Part 3 is that Tesla's going to announce that they're going to get heavily into mining, or some sort of way on how to influence the raw materials, right? Because you think about, Tesla's trying to get to 20 million cars per year in 2020, or 2030, excuse me, or 10 years from now, call it. And they're trying to dramatically expand their storage business, right? Their energy storage business. And they got this freaking bot coming out as well. And God knows how many other products that will use batteries, right? The raw material is by far the biggest limiting factor. Shout out Jordan Gisage, limiting factor. And as well, excuse me. And you also have to think about, if Elon's talking about extreme scale, like Master Plan Part 3 has to be focused on extreme scale. The best way to get to extreme scale is if you are able to influence every part of the supply chain. It's super freaking hard and probably very expensive to do it at first. But if there's a company that's generating a lot of cash to be able to fund those things, it's Tesla, especially in the next few years. Once FSD kicks in for the cars, it's going to generate so much profit that Tesla's really going to be able to invest very heavily into technologies or things that will take a while to pay off, but once they do, they're going to be hugely instrumental in allowing Tesla to achieve the scale that they want to achieve, right? So if there's a company that's going to do that, it's Tesla. And nickel is obviously going to be part of that equation. So let me know if that makes sense, Nick, but that's sort of how I'm thinking about that. So this is hilarious. Okay. Yes, mining. RK Equity also has a great channel covering companies exclusively mining raw materials and processing battery grade material. Okay, I'll have to check that out. And I've never seen that, so. Will you consider interviewing Tesla bears or maybe traditional investing channels, the Plain Bagel? Yeah, I think at some point, the one thing I'm really excited about with this channel is sort of the podcasting that I've been doing with a lot of my guests. And, if I feel like I can have those conversations with those people, they'll definitely come on at that time. So yeah, why not? Right? I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be really fun. Is there any reason why Elon or Tesla wouldn't want the value of Tesla to be too high too fast? Not the stock price, but the market cap. Yeah, I think, so the one thing about a stock price and market cap is that they're directly correlated, right? So the higher the market cap, the higher the stock price. So, a $2 trillion company in Tesla, it would be double the stock price of what it is today, right? So I think the thing to keep in mind is, working at Tesla and having shares in Tesla, dramatic price ups and downs will impact part of the workforce, let's say, attention. So you don't want a crazy, imagine you're somebody that's working at a company, you have a lot of money tied up in the company stock, and the company stock goes up 100% and then goes down 100% or 50% or whatever, right? That's kind of distracting. That's pretty crazy. So that's one of the thought processes behind not wanting a stock price that's going to just go bonkers. Now, if it goes bonkers because it's been super, super suppressed for a long time, like it's been kept low artificially for a long time, and then it explodes like it happened in 2019, that's different, right? Because there was about 5 years where people are like, yo, this thing should be going higher. We're bringing so much more value, but people are not realizing that all of a sudden it corrected itself, right? So that's one of the thought processes behind it, but yeah. Your podcast with Limiting Factor was great. Thanks, Adam. Dude, Jordan's the man. I'm going to see him when he comes down for Teslacon. I'm going to see him, and we're going to try to grab a drink. Also trying to grab a drink with Gally as well while he's down here. So I'm excited. I'm obviously going to see them at Teslacon as well, so that's going to be super exciting. So what are your other highest conviction companies and why? Thanks in advance. So the ones that I've invested in are, Coinbase, Shift4, ArchG, which is the genomics fund for ARK Invest, and then Hertz and Palantir. And the reason why I invested in Palantir is not so much high conviction, is that it forces me to research the stock. So I bought a little bit, and I'm trying to use that time, like me having that stock in my portfolio, that to force me to research it more because I hear so much about it. And so I think it's important for me to understand that if it's either good or bad. When I had Tom Nash on my channel a week or so ago, I didn't get a chance to talk about Palantir because our conversation sort of like ebbed and flowed in a specific way. But that's one of the reasons why I want to have him back, is because I would really want to talk to him about Palantir a lot to get a better understanding on sort of what his, he does a lot of videos out there that talk about Palantir, but I think having a conversation one-to-one really helps me. Plus, my background in my previous life, I was a director of business intelligence and pricing, so data is kind of my wheelhouse. So I'm excited to see sort of what he thinks about Palantir and stuff, because one of my things is that I'm having a hard time understanding why how Palantir is any different than a sophisticated BI suite, but we'll see. Ciao, Farzad. Hello, Francesco. What do you think is realistic to expect in terms of market penetration of Tesla in Europe in the next 3 to 5 years? And can you please elaborate? Yeah, that's actually a great question, and I'm not really sure what that is. And that is why I'm having Lars from Best in Tesla channel come on my channel next week. So that's one of the questions I was going to ask him, because it's much closer to that market. So yeah, come back to the channel next week, and we'll have a better answer for you at that time. But I appreciate you asking that question, man. Thank you. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tesla use the Boring Company to mine nickel sulfide, which typically must be mined deep within the earth. Yeah, agreed. I do think Boring Company is going to have a big piece if Tesla were to get into mining. And it was interesting that Elon dropped Boring Company and SpaceX in the same sentence as Tesla for Master Plan 3. So could that be the connection? I don't know. I like this channel. Thanks, man. Ron Burgundy, you got it, brother. Love your movie. What are your thoughts on rebalancing your percentage? Yeah, I mean, if it's a broad question, that you should always, again, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not an investing expert, okay? But you just have to be comfortable with what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with 100% all in, so be it. If you're not comfortable with that, feel free to move those percentages around. It's all very personal. It's all very personal. So, yeah. What's your take on quantum computing? IONQ is supposedly the premier company in that space, the first pure play stock with a lot of backing from heavy hitters. Yeah, I haven't done much research on quantum computing. I know it's a technology that has been hyped up quite a bit, and it transforming the way we use computers and everything. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hertz is out of business with FSD going live. Yeah, so the reason why I invested in Hertz, Boone, it's because I do think there's going to be in the medium to I think in the next 10 years at least, I think there's going to be opportunity for fleet operators like a Hertz to own the cars that are out there making money for that. They're out there full self-driving, and then Hertz would make a cut of the profit, right? So yeah, so that's the main reason why I invested into Hertz. And Elon has talked previously about there being like fleet operators out there that would operate the full self-driving fleets. And I think if Tesla really wants to hold true to the mission of like accelerating the advent of sustainable transport as much as possible, then I think it behooves them to really sell as many cars to as many people as they can. And I've heard arguments about them sort of just bringing everything in-house and they do all the fleet operation. But fleet operation, I believe, is going to require its own team to do that, right? Because there are still going to be situations where the car doesn't handle a specific way. Maybe somebody has to beam into the car, or somebody gets into an accident with it. So you need to figure out a way to handle that. So there are specific companies that are probably better at doing that. So that's why I think Hertz is already set up to be able to do that in some ways. So, yeah. The man that called the split, well done, 3 months ago. I don't know if I called it. I gave an explanation as to why I think why I think Tesla will do it, and the ESPP was a big reason why. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you. What are your thoughts on the current state and future of Tesla Solar? It seems to be struggling. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's struggling. I just think they don't have as many batteries as they need to really make that part of the business explode the way it should. So, I think as supply of the batteries increase, then the better they maximize the opportunities of the solar panels and that part of the business really exploding. So, yeah. What do you see are the main risks with Tesla in the coming years? Great question, Nathan. So, I think, and I go back and forth with this one a little bit. I think the biggest risks right now, the biggest one by far is Elon not being part of the company in the short term, right? Say, God forbid, something happens to the guy where he no longer can work for the company. Say in the next 1 to 3 years, I think that's going to have a material impact to the company. I still believe that the company will be just fine because they have so much talent and great people there that they might, say, lose out on a year's worth of progress, but then they'll kind of figure out how to move forward. I do think that the company's at a point now where that's the case. And, you have to look no further than to see that Elon already spends half his time at a different company already. He's not really 100% in Tesla. He's, 50-50 Tesla and SpaceX, really. So that's one of the big ones. I think the other risk is that for some reason they aren't able to secure the supplies, the raw materials that they need to really grow the business that they want to. So that's going to be another big one. I view China as kind of a risk, and I'm still kind of working through this, and I've talked to some people about it. But like the dynamics with China and the US and the current sort of world stage and the way the Russian conflict is going on, and China picking sides, potentially one or the other, and sort of nationalizing businesses. And if they yank, they pull the plug on Tesla somehow, and Tesla isn't able to make cars anymore, they have to make it under the Chinese government umbrella somehow. Yeah, there's a little bit there. But honestly, outside of those things, I don't really see much else, to be completely honest. And so Armhawk just asked, do you see Elon leaving the company within 5 years? What do you think happens to the stock if and when that happens? I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think he's going to leave in the next 5 years is because if he's working on Master Plan Part 3, he's going to want to be there for the completion of it. So let me rephrase that question. I'm curious to see what Master Plan Part 3 looks like, and if it looks like a more than a 5-year timeline, or more than a 5-year horizon for that to complete, then he's definitely going to be in the company for at least 5 years. But I have a hard time seeing Elon leaving, period, in any shape or form, because I do think he seems very close to that company and the mission. And even though maybe over time the time spent at the company will diminish from, say, 50% to 20% of his time, I still think he'll be involved in it in some way. And maybe he'll just do the fun shit. Like, I'm just coming in to design something and I'm leaving. Y'all can deal with all the bullshit, right? So I'm curious to see how that plays out. So yeah. By the way, y'all are friggin', this chat is lit right now, you guys. Thank you very much. Very good questions from everybody. I really appreciate you. Somebody asked if 54% of portfolio in Tesla, am I stupid? Dude, there's no right or wrong answer. It's such a personal decision. Just because I'm roughly 40%, and other people are 100% and some people are 10%. Who cares, right? 100% of my portfolio is in Tesla. Am I insane? No. No one's insane. It's all about what your risk profile is, right? And what you want your portfolio to look like. Jobs died, and see what happened to Apple stock since then? Up. Yeah, but I do think one of the big things there, though, is that, excuse me, I'm like drinking and talking at the same time. That's smart. Apple was already in a very solid footing, and Apple had been around for a while. Apple had left and came back already, so, I don't know if we're at the same point with Tesla right now, especially if you think about the complexity of the business. They're sourcing way more parts than Apple ever did, because you think about the different parts that go into a car. So the complexity has increased. So, Carrie asks, say Elon has seen your videos and felt he had to have you back. Would you go back? I don't know. That's a great question. Well, first of all, if Elon watches these videos and he, for some reason, likes them, that would obviously be very humbling, and it would make me very happy. But he's a very busy man, and I would never expect him to watch any of these things. And if you layer on another very rare thing, which him would directly reach out to me and ask me to go back, I would tell him maybe, right? I think it's a great honor if a leader of a company personally asks you to be part of that mission. I think it would be great, but truth be told, there's so much talent at the company, and there's so many talented people that don't work at the company today that could very well work at the company very easily in the next 5-10 years. My saying is always like the best people at Tesla haven't worked at Tesla yet, because there's so much growth that Tesla is going to have here in the next decade or so. That, yeah, if it does happen, I'll tell him maybe, because I'm really enjoying what I've got going on now, and but it ain't going to happen. They got too many smart people, man. But I appreciate the question. When will Master Plan 3 be public? Okay, so here's my theory for that. And I was thinking about making a video about this to go a little bit more into detail, and I gotta fix this freaking hair. I'm like obsessed with how my hair looks right now. I don't know why. I do think the Master Plan Part 3 will be released this year, and it'll be released in partnership and paired up with Elon's new compensation package. And I think the Master Plan Part 3, I think the reason why Elon's working on Master Plan Part 3 is because the board has asked him to tell them what he's envisioning for the next 5 to 10 years of the company, so that they can properly sit down and craft a compensation plan for him. And that's the only reason why he's sitting down and doing that at this point, is because he's hit all his tranches on his previous or he's going to hit all his tranches this year. And so the board needs to come up with, they're not going to allow the guy to work for free. That's just insane. And so they need to come up with a way to incentivize him, and they're going to likely craft that around his plan. So it has to be this year, because the tranches are going to be met this year, if probably halfway this year, I think, at some point. But if I do my math correctly on the tranches. But yeah, if I were to guess, I wouldn't be surprised if it's released at the annual shareholders meeting, to be honest, in conjunction with the compensation package. So, how far? Do you think Tesla would ever acquire one of the big automakers to speed up adoption? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's realistic. Only because existing automakers, the way their factories are laid out. And people are saying in June for the meeting. Yeah. That's my guess. So if you guys want to go with that, my guess is June we'll see Master Plan Part 3, and it will come out with the compensation package, because the board has Elon to put together the master plan so they know how to pay him. And I don't think they're ever going to acquire any big automakers, only because they have so much debt on legacy systems that are obsolete, that you're really carrying a bunch of, for the lack of a better word, and I apologize for anybody who works at those companies, but a bunch of just useless stuff that doesn't play into what you're trying to do, right? A lot of the sort of layouts and systems and everything that you're purchasing from those companies, knowledge, Tesla already does that and better. And they're equipped for the next decade, whereas these companies have to build the things from scratch for the next decade. So unless he's super like, charitable, I don't see it happening. It just wouldn't make any sense. If FSD fails, how big of a hit will Tesla have? Supreme's message asks. Yeah, I don't think FSD failing is part of the equation, but if it did fail, I do think it's going to hurt the company's reputation, but I'm not so sure it's going to hurt their stock price, because I do not think any of the full self-driving profitability and revenues are really baked into the stock price today, in my opinion. If it is, it's a small percentage. So I think it will hurt people that have followed the company for a long time more than the traditional investors, or like a majority of the investors out there, in my opinion. So don't apologize, Dusty. A wizard is never late. What movie is that from? Everybody should know. Would it be to Tesla's advantage? Tesla's advantage to build their own foundry and produce their own chips? Building one would eliminate a big supply chain variable. What do you think? Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Captain. So, Dan, one of the things that I learned while working at Tesla is that Tesla is not afraid to bring anything in house. And so, if in their head they think that they can do chip supply better in house, then they'll do that. So. What is your price target for Tesla by 2030? I actually have a stock price model that I do for fun, not financial advice. I link it to this thing here in the chat. I think I linked this in the last live stream as well, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Tesla model. I'll drop it in the chat. So I built this thing. I started building this thing back in 2012 when I first started doing my modeling for the company, and I've been updating it since. Let me know if that works. And 2030, I have it at a stock price of, these are big numbers, so I hope you're okay with this. So before we split again, of 23,900 with a price to earnings of 45, with a bunch of different assumptions that I have. So not investment advice, do your own research, don't follow my numbers, but that's what I have. So if I'm right or wrong, we'll see how it goes. All right. Thank you so much for the comments. This is the bigger our live streams are getting. I think I'm gonna need to find some moderators too, to kind of help me sift through some of the stuff. If you want to be a mod in the chat, let me know. If you want to be a mod, and those, I know I can see sort of how long you've been with the channel, and those that have been around for a while, you guys get dips. But let me know if you're interested in becoming a moderator for the channel. That would be super helpful. Appreciate that. As SMR calls out, Tesla has an unassailable lead with respect to focus and execution. Legacy has talked but yet to deliver. Not looking good for Legacy Auto. Yeah, Gino, I agree with you. Unassailable is such a freaking Stephen Mark Ryan word, isn't it? Do Australians say unassailable a lot, or is that just an SMR thing? Let me know. Why does the master plan require so much time to publish? I keep thinking that Elon knows every bullet point verbatim. Yeah, I agree with you, Dion. I think there's two variables here. Is one, I think he's waiting for the right time to release it. So when he says I'm working on master plan part 3, what he's really meaning is like, I'm just too lazy to put it onto a piece of paper, and I'm waiting for this time anyway to release it, right? And I do think it's going to be paired up with, as I sort of thought about it, I do think it's going to be paired up with a new comp package, with the new sort of next 5 to 10 year compensation package Elon's going to get. So once the board gets his vision, and then the board figures out how to compensate him for that vision, then they'll probably release the two things in tandem. So we'll see. Just an SMR thing, LOL. Okay, so it's not an Australian thing. Okay. Hi from West Ireland. Most beautiful part. What area are you visiting this summer, Farzad? Thank you, Declan. I appreciate that. I had a boss at my previous company before Tesla. His name was also Declan McCarthy. And he was from Cork. And actually, that's where we're visiting. We're going to be in Dublin. We're going to go to, and then we're also going to County Cork, and we're going to County Kerry. And we're going to do all that stuff. So we were very excited. When I first went, we did, and we're going to, did I say Galway? We're also going to Galway. And when I first went, we did Galway, we did Northern Ireland, so Giant's Causeway and sort of that stuff as well. We did Cliffs of Moher. Galway, Dublin, and some stuff in between. Connemara we did, Kong, and a few other places. But I'm so excited. I take my wife this time too, so I'm so psyched for her to see it. Beautiful country, beautiful people, and the Guinness is so freaking good. Yeah, say hi when you're in Dublin. I will. I'll be like, hi. For sure. That's so funny. Just so you guys know, thank you very much. 473 people viewing. If you're viewing and you're liking what you're seeing so far, I would love it if you like the live stream. It will help other people see it as well. But then also, for those who haven't been on these streams before, I don't know if you see these guitars back here. At the end of the stream, I tend to sit down and kind of play the guitar a little bit for y'all as a thank you for spending so much time with me. You can see me suck at guitar. So that will happen probably here in the next 15, 20 minutes if I were to guess. Maybe earlier, maybe later, but yeah. I am going to play. Francesco, do you see Tesla and EVs reaching mass market adoption considering the tech challenges versus ICE vehicles? Are these being underappreciated? Yeah, I don't know. I do think it happens, man. If you look at the previous sort of major shifts that happened in the economy before with very large entrenched industries, a great book to read is... Whoops. I'm making a mess. You guys like my gym shorts? This guy. Very, very good book. Sort of explains how entrenched companies and industries have failed over and over again when a disruptive force comes to play. And it doesn't matter how big the force is, they always fail. So, yeah. And I don't know if you guys, I don't think I showed this to you before. Can you guys guess what this is? Come on, zoom. Let me see. Let's see. You should be able to see it. I don't know. If you guys know what that is, let me know. Got a little gifty for me. ¿Qué tal tu español? No está muy bien. Yo nací en España y nos mudamos a América cuando tenía 12 años. Entonces mi español está un poquito jodido, pero it's not too bad. It's all right. There's a little Spanish for you. That's all. That's all we're going to do for today. I live really close to the cliffs of Moher in County Clare. Awesome. Yeah, we're definitely going to check that out when we're there. I'm excited. That's one of the magnets from the Plaid. Yes, it's one of the filaments. One of the, I believe, filaments that's part of the motor. And then you got the magnets right there. And then up here, that is Sandy Monroe's signature. And I bought it from them because I love to support their stuff because they do great work. I'm honestly shocked that Sandy Monroe and that team do what they do for free in a way. I mean, they do get paid through ads and, you know, subscriptions and Patreon and all that stuff, obviously, and they very well should. But they're just so generous with their time. And what's a brilliant thing that they did is that they're going to do the work anywhere to tear these cars down. Now they're just documenting it and sharing it with the world, at least parts of it that they feel like they can share, right? So I think that is such a unique and cool concept, especially for like hardcore engineering. And it shows how much of a market there is for people that are really interested in the ins and outs of how things work. So freaking badass. Decided not to turn on the Rivian. I saw he just bought one, right, for himself to drive it around. So if that's the case, good for him. Good for him. Cross-section of the new rotor. It is. That's right. That's right. No está tan mal tu español. Well, thank you. Thanks, Francesco. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. All right. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Drop them in the comments below. I'm going through the stuff here. What would you tell a new investor stumbling upon Tesla now to quell concerns that it's not too late to invest? You know, again, I'm not a sort of investing expert, but the way I think about Tesla is all about its long-term potential, right? And so if the long-term potential of the company you truly believe is going to be as big as all of us think here, then it should be a relatively easy decision for the person to say, okay, am I willing to part ways with my money for, say, 5 years or not, So it's all about like, the easier it is for people to not use money that they have, meaning that the easier it is for people to save and put money aside and not touch it for a long time, the easier it is to invest in Tesla, right? So that's kind of the decision that I would say for a new investor. Like you have to be comfortable with the money that you invest. Yeah, you have to be comfortable with the fact that there's a potential that money is going to go to zero. And if that were the case, what are you going to do, right? That's a potential role play. But then you think about Tesla's leadership, Tesla's talented workforce, Tesla's lead in the space, Tesla's future potential, the fact that they have delivered multiple times when they said they were going to do something really, really hard and then they do it, right? All of us in this chat understand that dynamic. So that's kind of how I would talk about Tesla. But it really comes down to how comfortable are you with moving the money into that. So, but that's a good question. Last time I thought that your guitar playing was off, then I noticed I was watching 1.75x. No, it's probably still off. It was probably still off. First time I catch a live stream, nice and easy going atmosphere in here. Perfect late night stream for us here in Scandinavia. Thank you very much, Martin. I appreciate that, man. That's very sweet of you to say. That's how we like to keep it here, just relaxed. You know, I think what's cool about this community is that we all, obviously Tesla fans, we're all Elon fans, but I just like to sit down with you all and just talk. Let's just talk. You know, let's have a good time. Let's sit down, obviously talk about Tesla. And if you guys have any questions about my time at Tesla, feel free to ask it. But in the end, I'm just trying to connect with the folks that have been so generous with their time and sitting down and watching my content. You know, I want to do the same and sit down and give you guys a platform where we can interact and have a good time. So thank you. Your Spanish was clean. Thank you. It wasn't, but I appreciate that. How does POTUS news about using Defense Production Act for battery metals hurts or helps Tesla? I think that's a very interesting question, Lorenzo. I think it should help, right? Because theoretically, why wouldn't Tesla be able to take advantage of that? You know, why wouldn't Tesla be able to also benefit from additional supply? Now, if they somehow jerry-rig it so that only, like, say, Ford and GM can take advantage of that supply, or, you know, say not Tesla can take advantage of supply, then of course that puts them at a disadvantage. But more supply should mean lower costs and more products being able to be made from that supply. So I see it as a pretty net, as a big win, I love you guys. I love you guys, man. I really do. What do you think about the fact that all Musk companies have a role on Mars? SpaceX, boring. Starlink, Tesla. Yeah, TG, I think you've nailed it. I think it's obvious that Tesla, or it's obvious that Elon doesn't do stuff just to do it. There is a longer term goal in mind. And I saw that firsthand in Tesla too. It's like, when you build something, you build it for multiple purposes. You don't build it for a single purpose. The long-term implications of the thing you're building is that you're going to be able to use this for multiple things in the future. And so in the case of electric vehicles, you can use that on Mars. In the case of Boring Company, you can use that on Mars to build roads underground and completely bypass the potential. And ain't nobody got time to go on Mars and survey the freaking surface. You just build the freaking tunnels and get it over with, right? It makes it so much easier to just build highways in between locations. Starlink, obviously going to be the communications network for people on Mars to communicate with each other, right? Solar stuff for Tesla, obviously is going to be the power generation capability on the planet with solar. Batteries, it's going to store it, right? Yeah, I think it's very much... they're very much in play for everything on Mars, and everything that Elon does on Earth will eventually make it to Mars for sure. Do you think the front end cast and the Cybertruck could be the same part? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not well versed enough in the engineering of the Cybertruck or cars in general. That's probably a better question for Sandy, but it'd be interesting. It would be ideal, but I don't know. I don't see how that would be the case, because you'd have to create a cast for the bed and then one for the front. I don't know how you would be able to do that, but I'm not an engineering expert. Answer this question already. Thank you, TG. What do you think the number one quality of a good leader is? For me, I think humility. Elon has a lot of this, despite clearly being a genius of geniuses. That's a really, really good question. And I did a video on this a while back on my channel that kind of talks about what I think are the right sort of variables for a leader. To me, I think being able to build trust is by far the biggest, sort of the number one thing a leader is really its most powerful tool. And you build trust by creating relationships with the people, meaning that you actually get to know the people for who they are, and then you say you're going to do something to make their lives better, and then you do it, right? Meaning, I'm going to help you build a process that's going to lessen the amount of strain that puts on your body, or I'm going to make it easier for you to do your job, or I'm going to allow you to be in an environment that's going to make you happy, right? I'm going to build an environment for you that makes you happy being here every single day. Those things, building trust by far is the most important. And I think the reason Elon is so effective is because he's built a trust around him, you know, which means that even in the situations where the getting gets tough and Elon sort of has to be kind of a pain in the ass and maybe a little bit of a dick from time to time. I've never worked with the guy, but I've seen leaders turn into kind of dicks because it's like shit needs to get done. But if you trust the person, you trust that the reason why they're doing it is because ultimately it's the betterment of the mission that we're all together, right? So I think that's how I think about it. And let me know if that helps answer the question, but I think that's by far the most important thing for a leader. So, yeah. Next, his sons will lead all the host companies. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. The special guest on Teslacon Texas has to be Elon. He promised so many times he will do interviews with YouTubers. That is the proper moment. That would be amazing. Bro, if Elon shows up to Teslacon, look out. Look out. Think Real, thank you very much for the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate you. Elon tweeted, interest in Company X, Tesla, SpaceX boring. I think it will happen. He will launch new social media site under the new company. Thoughts? Yeah. I mean, he very well, you know, we've kind of talked about it. I think X ultimately is going to be sort of, if it makes sense to bring all those companies together to further the mission of moving to Mars and to move the Earth's energy generation and consumption to sustainable energy. If X helps us achieve that, then X will become real. And then that obviously will become a conglomeration for everything else that he has. The social media. I've heard the phone, right? He's working on a phone supposedly. I don't know. So we'll see. Okay. A few more minutes and then we'll play some guitar. Close out the stream the way we usually do. What would you refer a friend who doesn't invest at all in order to educate them on the Tesla investment thesis? I would just point them to YouTube and be like, type Tesla, type Tesla on YouTube, or give them your favorite YouTubers, right? You know, for me, it'd be like, go watch some Dave Lee content, some Stephen Mark Ryan, some Rob Maurer, some Hyperchange. There's so many out there, right? If you like super bullish stuff, send them to Warren Redlick. If you want less Tesla-centric stuff and more EV-related stuff, send them to a lot of the other sites as well. So there's just so much good content on YouTube. I would just send them over to that. So will you be at the event on April 7th? I'm not really sure yet. I haven't gotten an invite. We were talking earlier that if they somehow sent it to my @Tesla email, it would be hilarious because I don't have access to that email. So yeah, that would be hilarious. Is Tesla phone a possibility? Yeah, I don't know. Anything's a possibility with freaking Elon. You know, there was a part of me that for the longest time said that if it has a battery in it, why wouldn't Tesla make it? Like, have you thought about that? Like, if Tesla has the best battery by far, regardless of format, if they have the best density, the best power density in a battery, why wouldn't they just make everything if they're really good at manufacturing? Right? Crazy thought? Probably, but what do you think about me, Kevin collaboration? Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I kind of like me, Kevin stuff. I know like him and Chicken Genius have gotten into it, and it's kind of sad to see. You know, I don't have a lot of comments around that, but I haven't met anybody personally yet outside of... Actually, no, I have yet to meet anybody personally. I've talked to people on podcasts that are on YouTube, obviously, but I haven't actually gotten to sit down with them face to face and get to talk to them as a human being. And so it's hard for me to pass judgment on people, right? But I know there's some like stuff going around that, but I personally don't have a problem. You should interview Gordon Johnson. I like to say this all the time. I don't interview comedians on my channel. So speaking of somebody I didn't meet personally, I'm sure he's a good guy too, but it's just the stuff he says is like, man, it's interesting. How much do you worry about Elon's health if he goes out? Is Tesla done? I do worry about his health. I always worry about, I do worry about people's health in general. I worry about my health, constantly. So I do worry about his health. I do hope that he's sort of doing the things that he thinks he needs to do to keep himself healthy. But ultimately, if he's happy, that's really the primary thing. I'm really starting to kind of shift gears on how I think about like a long life versus like a healthy life and a happy life, right? As long as he feels like he's taking care of himself, and as long as he's happy doing it, that's his prerogative, and I 100% support it. So go for it. All right, a couple more questions and then we'll get started with a guitar. When do you think Wall Street will price in FSD? Is it when regulatory approval occurs, when FSD is available worldwide, or will they doubt it at first and it'll be a few years until they see profits? Yeah, I think I've thought about this one a little bit. I do think it will get priced in before it gets a regulatory approval. I think if Tesla very clearly starts to show that it works, like say they release a beta for their full self-driving fleet, like the robo-taxi, but it has to have a driver in there. And then they have data that shows for our self-driving fleet with the drivers, like Uber-style Tesla fleet with drivers in it, our drivers only had to take, or our cars drove 99.999999% of the time. It's over. So then the thought process becomes, okay, will Tesla actually do that for that to happen, right? For that sort of pricing to happen, the pricing thing. So yeah, we'll see. Do you feel better after your panic attack episode? Do you have just one of those? Oh, thank you, Nokia Lover. I appreciate that question. I do have a channel on my, I have a video on my channel about my anxiety journey. I've been sort of battling with anxiety for the last 4 years, and it's gotten so much better, thankfully. There's been a bunch of different things that I've done to sort of help me with that. A lot of that was inoculation, but yeah, I did. It's gotten so much better. I did have more than one. I mean, I had probably 2 or 3 panic attacks, but that were pretty severe. I've had many anxiety attacks, but not to the point where I was like completely like, like completely disabled for like a few minutes. That only happened a few times, like 2 or 3 times. So it has gotten 1,000 times better, and I think removing stimulants from my system, like caffeine and alcohol and stuff like that, helped a lot at first to kind of get my body used to feeling like normal in a way. And then once I started working with inoculation and stuff, and getting myself used to situations where I would feel an anxiety attack coming, or I would feel very anxious, and just kind of allowing that feeling to take over and be like, it's not going to kill me, I'll be fine. That helped tremendously. So, but I do appreciate the question, man. If anyone else struggles with anxiety or panic attacks, I feel you, man. It sucks really bad. And I do talk about it very openly on my channel. So if you're interested in seeing that, feel free to look up the video. But I appreciate the question, man. I feel 1,000 times better. If anything, I feel better now than I ever did. So, okay. All right. Guitar or riot? All right. We'll play guitar. We're there. Okay, everybody. We've entered the guitar portion of the live stream. Here we go. I'll do one more. You mentioned factories in China and India, but what do you think about South America, Australia, UK, or even Dubai? Where will Elon's 10 more factories go? I think it makes sense to at least have a factory in every single continent. So, Australia, UK, kind of makes sense-ish. South America for sure, so India. So here we go. All right, guitar time. Guitar time. Who's sticking around for guitar? All right, here we go. Da-da-da-da. Uh-oh. Okay. Anthony, what were the zingers, bro? I missed them. Sorry. Okay. All right. I need you guys to sound check me. Ready? Inoculation. Inoculation is getting your body used to, think of it as like exposing yourself to things you're afraid of. Think of it that way. So if you're like afraid of like something, you just continue doing it until you get used to the feeling. Where can I get the shirt you're wearing? Oh man, where did I buy this? I think I bought it at like the local Macy's or something. I forget. It was local. Okay, so I'm gonna play y'all 2 or 3 songs, and because the only ones that I've really had a chance to practice are Metallica songs, we're just gonna play that again. But they're gonna be new songs, and we might end it. The last 2 streams we ended with Master of Puppets, the song Master of Puppets. So I don't know if I should make that into a tradition. If you guys think I should make that into a tradition, let me know. But yeah, let me know if that's something y'all would be interested in. Okay. Okay, looks like we're good on guitar. Okay, let me turn this off real quick. So what I'm gonna do, what I need you guys to do is to verify that the guitar sounds good. And that the volume between the video and the guitar is like synced up, and that the sound is about the same. Or that you can hear both. Okay. Here we go. All right, so I need you guys to verify that it sounds good on your end, or good enough, okay? And then we'll start with this song, and then we'll play this out. But I wanted to make sure that it sounds good first, and then we'll do it. And if you want to sing, as Marco wants to sing, feel free to sing. So here we go. Guess what? I didn't turn on my headphones. There we go. Oh, let me know if it's synced up. Good. I'm glad that y'all can hear that. Now, I can't hear myself, so I gotta fix that. Okay, here we go. Okay, this song is called Ride the Lightning, from the album Ride the Lightning by the band Metallica. Here we go. Ride the lightning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you hope y'all enjoyed that. Evie Bike Dude, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Look at you guys. Oh, hope you guys are enjoying the music so far. We'll do 2 more. I'm gonna do another one from this album. It's called Creeping Death. Isn't that a happy title? Creeping Death. It's really fun song. It puts a lot of pressure on your picking hand. So this hand that has the pick. And it's funny because I played this song just now, Ride the Lightning, and my right arm feels a little tight. So I'm curious how this is going to go. I'm going to take a 2-minute break just to let my arm cool down a little bit, and then we'll take it from there, okay? Hope you guys are enjoying it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Ride the Lightning from 1984, arguably their best. It's definitely up there. Top 3 for a lot of Metallica fans for sure. I did see a question about Metallica. Somebody asked me, oh, you're a wild man. Keep it up. You're very knowledgeable and entertaining. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a very, very sweet thing to say. We should power your guitar with a Tesla and go play downtown. I am so down. Should I play freaking guitar at Teslacon? What do you think about that? If I get invited to Cyber Giga Texas thing, who knows? Maybe I'll play some music in the parking lot for y'all that are there. For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black. This takes me back to my inner thrash metal phase in high school. Yeah, man, thrash metal is the best. I freaking love thrash so much. How many times have you seen Metallica live? Twice. I saw them in Philly one time, and then I saw them in Jersey the next time. So I saw them at the Philly Stadium, where the Sixers play, and then I also saw them at whatchamacallit, Giant Stadium. Stairway to Heaven, Tom Nash says. What's up, Tom? Welcome, my friend. Stairway to Heaven. How do you play that again? I'm gonna see if I can remember how to play it. Is it right? Is that it? Something like that, right? I forget how the rest of it goes. I'll learn it for you, Tom. How about this? Next time you come on, I'll play the song for you. I got you, bro. All right. All right, we're going to play Creeping Death by Metallica. This one's fast and heavy. And if you like fast and heavy, then you'll be right at home here. All right. Dion, thank you very much for becoming a contributor, my friend. Really appreciate you. You're the man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you so much. All right, Creeping Death. Here we go. Please pray for my right hand. If you really want to see what it looks like for a song to like really beat the shit out of your picking hand, this is it. So for those that are interested, pay close attention to my right hand. It's going to hurt. Discord access in a little bit. Oh, geez. Here we go. Thank you. Gripping death. My right hand is tired. Thanks, Tom. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I'm like, who is this? Who is this? Thank you, Kaba. I appreciate you, brother. All right, should we do one more? I always end these streams. So the last 2 streams I've done, we ended the stream with Master of Puppets. Unforgiven 3 opener, Tom? Yeah, dude, that shit is fire. That's with the piano, right? Yeah. I think my favorite one's still Unforgiven 1. Unforgiven 3 is my second favorite, though, I think. It's better than... I only really like Unforgiven 2. I think Unforgiven 3 is the best one. Or it's better than the second one. I still think I like the first one the best, but all of them are really, really good. We'd love to see Farza playing this standing on top of a Cybertruck. Bro, why do you think I'm buying one? So I can drive around Austin playing my frickin' guitar from the bed of the truck. Yeah. Okay. Oh, spit out the bone. Bro, is this the... Hold on. Right? I think that's the riff for Spit Out the Bone. Something like that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna play Master of Puppets. Fuck it, why not? Why not? What's this? What does this have to do with Tesla? That's the more part of the stream, Wayne. I like to play guitar for the folks that follow the channel. At the end of the stream, we always play a little Metallica, a little live music, and then we also do guess the riff. But I just got to learn a few more riffs for you all to guess. So, all right, Master of Puppets, and then we'll end the stream. Yeah, we'll just make it a tradition. Tom. You know what? Just for that comment, I'm gonna make Tom a moderator of the channel. That's so funny. The amp, yes, Samir. Line 6, yeah. It's a line 6 Spider 5. Yeah, it's 120 watt. So, okay, here we go. All right, Master of Puppets. Let's end the stream strong, y'all. Just be careful with Tom. Don't piss him off. He might ban you. Please don't. Please don't ban anybody. Okay, here we go. Master! stream ends. Thank you all so much. My headset almost freaking fell off. Look at this thing. It's so close. I gotta get headsets that stick to my head a little bit better because I get so lost in these songs sometimes. I can't help but to headbang. You guys are awesome. Should I play one more? Man, I kind of want to play one more. I'm like in the zone, but I don't know what to play. What should I play? I don't know. We'll see. Should we save it for next week? What do you think? What do you think we should do? Oh. Okay. Oh. Yeah, seriously, you guys, there's 200 people here at the end of the stream, which started with Tesla Talk, and now we're like playing guitar, and you guys are still around. You know, I want to do you another one. I'm going to give you another one. You guys deserve another one. Come on. Okay. Okay. The question is... We'll do one more. Am I trending? That's scary. I'm trending. Tesla has Tesla in the title. Yeah, we're playing guitar. That's great. Okay, we'll do one more. Only because, you know, we'll do the 4682. So this is another one we played last stream. But I feel like because the 4680 battery is just in so much demand, we'll play a song called Battery, and then we'll really end it, okay? This is for true the last one, okay? Thank you all very much for sticking by. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate you guys. You guys are more than welcome to leave. Trust me, you don't have to stay and watch this. But I really appreciate you guys. I really, really do. And I really feel like playing guitar right now, so I'm just going to keep playing. So I'll do one more, and then we'll move from there. So we'll do Battery. We'll end on another very fast note because we like fast. At least I like fast. I don't know if you like fast, but I like fast. So we're going to end with fast, and we'll end the stream. So thank you all very much. Here's Battery by Metallica for the last one. Thank you. thank you all so much. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for stopping by and watching me suck a guitar. I have fun. And I really appreciate you guys for appreciating me, man. What a beautiful community. 185 people sticking by. You just heard 4680, my friend. It's called Battery, but maybe in this chat we'll call it the 4680 song, yeah? Battery, get it? All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. I'll try to do a live stream during, obviously, Tesla's having a big thing next week with the Gigafactory release, so I'll definitely try to get a live stream out to you guys. There will be an interview of a former Tesla employee engineer who worked at the Model 3 ramp back in 2018, 2019. I'll be talking to him Friday. It'll be released, or Thursday, it'll be released on Friday. I'm also speaking with Lars from Best in Tesla next week about sort of the European market and everything else like that. So I'm excited to talk to him. I have live streams coming up. I also have a different discussion on Friday with somebody you probably never heard, but he has a interview with, he has a podcast where he talks about some stuff that correlates with Tesla a little bit. So I'm excited to talk to him. And obviously I got more content for you guys lined up. So see you next week for the live stream. Thank you very much. I'll try to put a video out tomorrow. And yeah, take it easy. Bye-bye. Thanks again for stopping by. Thank you for everybody. Like, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate everyone's support, man. Take it easy. Take it easy, man. Bye-bye.